I said in a previous video that the French never completely leave. They kept a presence there, particularly when traders and fishermen there, but nonetheless, on an official basis, the French were gone. Well, now they have returned. They return in greater numbers, and they're going to be there for a much longer time. Uh, French permanent settlement had ended, but as I said, the fishing along the coast of the Atlantic, along New France, was so good that they kept fishermen there, and they would they would dry the fish and then sail it all the way back to France to be sold at market. And that was lucrative. But another very lucrative way to make money out of the New World was through furs, particularly beaver pelts. And if you've ever felt a beaver pelt, you can understand why people go nuts over them. For example, they just you feel it, and it just you can understand why a beaver is so at home in water. It's this nice, fantastic, velvety feel, and you can certainly understand why the French go nuts over beaver pelts. So what we start to see is a lucrative trade for beaver pelts. And this is going to help spark a return of French settlements back into the New World. And we certainly see that. For example, in 1608, Samuel de Champlain is going to sail back down the St. Lawrence River, and he's going to establish two major cities, one of Quebec in 1608, and then again in 1624 with the establishment of Montreal. In addition to bringing back a more permanent settlements, the French are going to do exactly what the Spanish are doing, and that is convert Indians. And there's going to be a major difference between the way the French do it, particularly when it comes to the Jesuits, and the way the Spanish do it when it comes to the Franciscans and the Dominicans. The chief orders for missionary work during this time period for the Catholic Church were the Jesuits, the Franciscans, and the Dominicans. The Spanish generally sent Franciscans and Dominicans, who believed that if you wanted to Christianize Indians, you first had to Europeanize them. You had to make them basically act like Europeans, dress, talk, and act like Europeans. The Jesuits, on the other hand, did not do that. The Jesuits disagreed. They're much more intellectually. They have a greater aptitude for intellectualism. They learn the language. They learn the culture of the tribes that they are dealing with, and they are going to have a lot of success in converting these Indians. The Indians are going to be, they're going to be interested in the French version, in the Jesuit version of Christianity, for a couple of reasons. Number one, they don't have to change their ways. They don't have to become Europeans. And in fact, what they're going to do is this, and related to the second reason, is that the Christian message can be assimilated into their own religions, and so they kind of have a hybrid of the two religions. But nonetheless, the Jesuits probably have more success in the fact that they learn the native tongues. They can speak in the native Huron and all the other different languages that were spoken by Indians on the east in New France. The Spanish, in particular when it comes to the Franciscans and Dominicans, didn't do this. They taught them Spanish and they made them become more like Europeans.